Hey class, so the quote I found for this week is study because knowledge is power. Now, I don't know about you, but I have heard this, not the study part, but I have heard over and over, right, that knowledge knowledge is power, right? I've heard it so much that it kind of sounds like a cliche. But I'm wondering, have you ever really thought about what that means, right? Okay, so knowledge is power. What kind of power does a knowledge give you? And how does knowledge give you power? So I was thinking about that. And for some reason, a movie popped into my head that I think will kind of help maybe give an example of how to explain that. So let's watch the clip and then I will come back and give my interpretation of the clip and also I will explain how it relates to the quote.
All the way back there when it starts to rain, you might as well be sucking bug spray.
Ooh, don't even say that. You know something? You're making a lot of sense. I mean, why take the risk? You should tell Hopper.
Good idea. But, it's really not our place. I mean, you're his brother. That makes you like the vice president of the gang.
Wow, it kind of does, doesn't it? Okay, I'll tell him. Boy, I should talk to you guys more often.
What if Hopper doesn't like it?
Then at least the genius will get smacked, and not us. Vice President Bull.
Yeah. That's good. Oh, lower. Yeah. Lower. Go away.
That's fine. Then I won't tell you my idea.
Good.
Okay, I'll tell you anyway. You see, I've been thinking, which is something that I do, being vice president and all. And this is a thought, and it was mine. Why go back to Ant Island at all? I mean, you don't even like rain.
What?
You're right. I didn't think it was such a good idea myself. Actually, it wasn't even my idea. It was Axel and Loco's. They talked fancy to me. I got confused.
Guys, order another round because we're staying here. Yeah. What was I thinking going back to Ant Island? I mean, we just got here and we have more than enough food to get us through the winter, right? Why go back?
But there was that ant that stood up to me.
Yeah, but we can forget about him.
Yeah, it was just one ant. One ant. Yeah, you're right. It's just one ant. Yeah, boss. They're puny. Puny? Say, let's pretend this rain is a puny little ant. Did that hurt? No. Well, how about this one?
Are you kidding?
How about this? You let one ant stand up to us, then they all might stand up. Those puny little ants outnumber us 100 to 1. And if they ever figure that out, there goes our way of life. It's not about food. It's about keeping those ants in line. That's why we're going back. Does anybody else want to stay?
He's quite the motivational speaker, isn't he?
Let's ride!
Okay, so back to the quote, study because knowledge is power. Well, I'm looking at it from the perspective of the ants. Right? It seems like the ants, right, have no idea that they actually outnumber those grasshoppers 100 to 1, right? So if the ants somehow got the knowledge that they did, as the grasshopper points out, right, they could probably overtake the grasshoppers. So in the grand scheme of things, I guess one way that knowledge is power is that it could have the power to enlighten you of maybe situation that you're in that maybe you don't want to be in, right? But once you gain the power, then you would be able to kind of get out of that. It also reminds me of Frederick Douglass, when he wrote in his a narrative, right? Once he learned to read, he came across some laws that in some states, correct me if I'm wrong, but there were some laws that were beneficial to the slaves. But most of the slaves didn't know that because they couldn't read, right? So once Douglass was able to learn to read, he was empowered by the knowledge, right? And then it also gave him a motivation, right, to help the abolitionist cause. So that's my take. I can't wait to hear yours.